Hi, hello everyone. This is Vignesh. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to discuss the huge topic that is Linux. Okay, I have an agenda this morning. Before starting, I'd like to explain what is my agenda and what are we going to discuss. Today, we are going to discuss Linux. What is Linux? The system hierarchy. I'll start with some basic commands and will explain some troubleshooting commands. And I have executed a Git and Git repository. I've created a repository. I've pushed all the README files I just wanted to execute this morning. That starts with level 1, level 2, and level 3. So let me get started. All right. I have a visual code open in front of me, and I'd like to discuss what is Linux. Linux is an open source operating system kernel. Linux, the most important thing we need to know, it is an open source and it is safe, secure, and it is widely used in servers, cloud platforms, DevOps environments, embedded systems, and modern enterprise workloads. Recently, we have completed installing the EC2, and I've launched an EC2 as well. I'll discuss that in the later stage. Now, let me discuss about the file system hierarchy. What is the meaning of major directories? We have a lot of directories. Always the Linux hierarchy system starts with root directory. The root directory, that is the top of the entire file system, and that follows the bin, that is the essential user binaries. For example, list of files, copy, move, remove, cat is to read files, and that follows the system binaries. What is system binaries? For example, if I want to install an application, for example, Nginx, Java, Apache Tomcat, we use commands such as systemctl, reboot, etc. That follows user bin, user system binaries, etc. We use etc for the applications such as Nginx, SSH, password. We use var command, that is for the variables. We use varlog, that is on system and application logs. We use home directory, that's for the home directory for normal users, whereas for the root user we use home directory for the root users. How to create a root user, I'll discuss that in the next steps. We have temporary files, that is for the hyphen tmp. We have optional third-party softwares, we use that as in slash opt. What are the third-party softwares? We have Nginx, Apache Tomcat, those are the third-party softwares. All right, let me get started. So this is the uh, steps which we're going to follow this morning. We have level 1, level 2, and level 3. These are the tasks. Let me get started. Okay, I have an EC2 install, EC2 launch, and I would just connect and get started with the Git. All right, my EC2 name is task video. I'll start the instance. Once the instance is started, let me connect. All right. I have the SSH and the PIM keys in my downloads. That's my internal folder. Let me go to my internal folder. Let me create a Git here. All right. Let me paste, which I've copied in the EC2. Enter. Okay. Let me say yes. Okay. I'm into the instance from the AWS server. Let me get started with starting from the basic commands and including all the troubleshooting commands. As we have an agenda this morning, we have few tasks to complete as well that I've pushed in the Git repository. I'll show you how my Git repository looks like as well. All right. So always when we start, we need to know which directory are we in, and at the same time, if we want to use all the major commands, we need to have root user. So root user is the top on top of all the users. It is a system user. If you want to have special privileges and everything, you need to have root user. Okay, so let me switch to root user. It is sudo su hyphen. Now I'm into the root user. Now I need to check the directory. I'll do pwd. I'm into the root user. You can see slash root. Now I need to know who am I. What is who am I? Who am I is nothing but who exactly is the user who is trying to using these commands. So I'm the root. So I need to add a user. Let me say user add. That is a command. And myself Saiviki. I said user add Saiviki. All right. Now we have added a user. I need to add another user as well. User add Saber. Now we have added two user. Now I would like to add a group. I would say user add group techie. Now we have added a group called group techie. Now I would go. Now I need to check in the sudoers file. How can I check that? I can do cat etc password. Now I can check the two users which has been added recently, and you can see all the users who has been added recently starting from the bottom. I have added Saper, Saiviki, Injings, Saddam, Saiviki, not 7, Mike, EC2 user. So we can check all the users who has been recently added until the user which has been added in this terminal recently. All right. Now let me execute some other basic commands. Like for example, if I want to check the CPU utilization, I'll go top and we can check all the CPU utilization which is running right now. You can see top tasks. You can see how many tasks are running. You can see the percent of CPUs and you can see the memory and memory swap. All right. Let me check the size of the directories. Let's do du hyphen sk. Okay. Let me do control C du hyphen sk. All right, you can see the file size of the directories are 104. Now I need to check uh, the identity of current user. I'll do id, and you can check the identity of current users. You can see uid, gid, groups, context, unconfined, etc. Now I need to check how many file systems are there in the system and how much space are free. I'll do df hyphen k. This way, we can check how many file systems are here, and you can see your file systems, 1K blocks, how much are used, and how much are available. So this would show you how much space is free as well. All right. Now let me create a directory. Mkdir supermarket. That is my directory this morning. Okay. Now we have created a directory. Now I need to provide some special privileges giving sudo access. Let me do sudo user mod hyphen a capital G. Okay, who is my uh, who is my company here? It's Techie, and I'll take a user that's Saiviki. Okay, user mod Techie doesn't. Okay, now let me see who I've created before. Okay, user and group was Techie. Okay, let me do sudo user mod hyphen a g and let me do myself Saviki. Okay, now we have given sudo user access to Saviki. All right, now let me do cat etc password. Okay, this way I can see all the users who has been recently added and where exactly the root users and the users are present at. All right, now let me execute few other commands. For example, if I need to check free memory, I'll do free hyphen m. So this way I can check how much memory are free, how much are used, and how much are shared and how much are available. Now I need to remove a directory. I'll do rmrf rmrf techie. Now rmrf techie has been removed. Now I need to check the list of files. So this way I can check that techie is removed from my directory, from my group. All right. Now I need to check uh, how to create a soft link to a directory. I'll do ln-s. Okay, now we haven't created a soft link to a directory. All right, I'll show that in the later stage. Now we can proceed to few other processes. Before that, let me get started with the task. All right, let me show you my visual code. And so in this, if you see, level 1 is basic, and level 2 is intermediate daily DevOps task, and level 3 is advanced production ready setup. So today we are going to look into it in level 1 basic foundation and level 2 intermediate daily DevOps task. Okay, now let me open the Git repository which I've created. Okay, my Git repository name is Linux project. Let me refresh. All right, so now let me go into the Linux project.sh. Here is where I have few commands that I'd like to execute this morning. Before that, let me show you the the server setup. Okay, that is this. All right, here if you see, I've created few links. This will be pretty much useful. I'll be sharing this in the YouTube channel as well with my audio. So this will help you to look exactly into it, how to find the links for the basic, intermediate, and advanced levels of Linux. Okay, let me get started with execution of few commands. All right. So this morning, as we have seen, we have set up users groups for my techie team. Now I'd like to manage permissions for those project directories. All right. When I say project directories, my project name is task one. Let me create a directory sudo mkdir linux task one. Okay, we have created mkdir linux task one. Now I will provide permissions to mkdir-opt linux task one. Okay, all right. Now I need to change the directory to cd opt cd. All right, now I'm into the opt directory. Now let me provide permissions sudo mkdir hyphen linux task one. All right, now we have provided access to Linux task one. So this is my project. Now I need to provide, now I need to change the modification. Now I need to provide some special permissions. I'll do sudo chmod 770 hyphen Linux task one. Okay, no such file or directory. Okay, so what I can do is I can just go sudo chmod 770 Linux task one. All right. Now we have changed the modification for the project. Now let me install some packages. So we're gonna install three packages. That is Git, Nginx, Java. So let me install Git first. Sudo yum install git hyphen y. So this is the command that is used to run, that is to install git from the AWS server. If it is an Ubuntu or the other terminals, we can use accordingly apt or yum. So I'm gonna use apt today. If you see here, uh, the Git is already installed. As we have seen, the Git is already installed. So now I will install Nginx. Sudo m install Nginx -y. So if you see here, Nginx is already installed as well. So these are the commands we can use to install Git, Nginx, and let me install Java as well. Sudo m install Java 17-y. Okay, if you see here, Java is already installed as well. So if you want to check this status, if it is running or not, you can do sudo systemctl sudo systemctl enable. Now we need to enable. Then let me check the status. Engines. Okay. Now we have enabled the engines. Now let me check the status. Before that, let me restart it. Systemctl restart engines. Okay, now we have restarted engines as well. Now let me check the status. Systemctl status engines. Okay, if you see here, it says active and running. Now let me go and check in the instance. This is my instance. In my instance, let me check. If you see here, it says running, and let me check my security groups. In my security groups, it should say that my inbound rules. No, this is not my security. Let me check instances. Okay, here I need to go to my security groups, and in my inbound rules, I've given SSH, all traffic, HTTPS, and HTTP because I want to run the Nginx port number 80 in the web browser. So now let me go back. Now let me do Control C and let me copy paste. Now let me copy paste the public IP and let me paste in the browser. If you see here, it says welcome to Nginx. So this is success. Now when you see this page, welcome to Nginx, your port number is exactly running in the backend from the AWS to a Git. All right. Now we can discuss uh, few other commands. Now I need to execute a system package. So in the level one, if you see, we have already created users. I've showed you how to do the group mods and the sudo's file, the project servers, everything is set up. Now we have seen installing packages as well. That is the execution script. So instead of this, I've shown you in the manual way. In the level two, uh, before go to the level two, I need to show you exactly uh, how to. All right, I'll show that in the manual way itself. As we have seen, we need to run a few basic commands every single time. So for that, we have a script. So instead of that, let me show you in the manual way. I'm going to use free hyphen h. In this free hyphen h, we can see how much total space is used, total used, free, shared, etc. And we can use stop command. Uh, we can use df hyphen h for the memory for the disk space. I mean, do control C, df hyphen h. So this will show you the disk space, how much is used, how much is available, and how much is used. And I'm going to do htop. Okay, htop is not available. Let me do uname hyphen a. So this will exactly show you the Linux IP address and where exactly the server is running in the backend. Okay, now I will get back to an interesting topic, that is cron jobs. Cron tab. So what is cron jobs and cron tabs? So it is used to automate backups with cron. I need to run a script at 4:05. So in this is an example. So we have 5 stars. The stars starts from minute, hour, day, month, and weekday. So in the minute, if you see, it is 1 to 60, and hour, if you see, that is 1 to 60, and day 1 to 30 or 31, and month, that is as well month, any month in an year 1 to 12, and weekday starts from Sunday to Saturday. So if I want to run a script at 4:05, so 5 is a minute and 4 is a hour. So that is exactly written here: 5 4 star star star. So this is how the cron jobs run in the backend. So we have a script to do this, and the script automates every single day. As we spoke before, we need to run a few sanity tests. Those sanity tests can be run in a script wise instead of running it manually, and that will make sure to monitor, to get us an alert if there is CPU utilization it at a higher level. So this is really helpful. So we can use cron jobs, as an extreme factor to make sure our systems are running perfectly. And if there is no, if there is an error or something, we get a notification ASAP from the terminals. All right, now I need to execute few of the scripts. All right, now I need to do the log cleanup. So to do the log cleanup, we have a script. I'm going to use vi is used to edit. I'll take clean logs dot bash. So bash is for scripting a bash scripts. Now I'll do now I'll take from the GitHub repository which I was using earlier. Okay, I have okay, I have the script right here. So let me copy and let me paste in my terminal. Okay, so this is the script which is used to clean logs. I'll do slash wq enter, that is to write the files. Now let me provide some special permissions: chmod 755 clean logs dot bash. So now we have provided permissions as well. Now let me execute this: slash dot clean logs dot bash. Now it is executed and it says SRPM. So the script, somewhere there is an minute errors, but this is exactly how we need to write a script, how we need to provide permissions and execution. These three main things are very important in bash scripts. Now let me do manage logs under log. Let me change the directory to cd var log. Okay, let me change the directory to cd or var or log. Now I'm into the log directory. Now let me do ls. Let me check the list. Okay, I have few list here. Now let me execute this script: vi manage logs dot bash. I'll do hi for enter, and let me go back to the scripts, and I have that right under my nose here. Okay, now let me do the script. I'll copy and I'll paste it right here. If you see here, the script is enabled. Now let me do wq slash. So now let me provide some special permissions: manage logs dot bash. Now let me execute the script: manage logs dot bash. Okay, so this is exactly how the script should be executed, but there are some minute errors in my script, so I can correct that later. So this is how we can create shell scripts for log cleanup, manage logs under where out log, and we can execute few other commands like top command. Let me change the directory to cd home, cd/home. Okay, now I'm into the home directory. Let me do sudo su hyphen. Okay, I'm into the root directory as well right now. You can see the last login is right now, 30621 time. Now let me do some top command. Okay, we have the CPU utilization running. And to monitor system performances and troubleshooting services, these are the major commands which we're going to use. We can use vmstat1. Okay, vmstat. One. So this is the command. You can see how much the free memory space or cache, and you can see all the details which is running in the background. Now let me do control C. I can show you the other commands, iostat. So in this iostat as well, you can see the average CPU, device, and name. Okay, let us see some different commands. For example, if you want to start engines, you can do systemctl start engines, but we saw the engines was already running. I'm just executing the commands to show you how the troubleshooting commands looks like. We have other commands called journal ctl hyphen xe. So if you see here, the major file which was opened when I did journal ctl.exe, this will show you the user manager, the startup of the manager, the job identifier, what is the unique ID, that is 4107, job ID identifier 4183, and you can see December 3rd. What are exactly the commands which we executed, and it will show you right here. All right, now let me do exit. All right, just give me a minute. All right. So successfully we did level one and level two. So if there are any questions, please ping me. As we have covered the most interesting topics, we completed levels and we did cron jobs. We did instances running in the background, and we did the security check groups. The port was running. The package installations was completed, and I'll see you in the next session with an interesting topic. Until then, stay tuned. Thank you.